Hey guys, welcome back to our final video for our set review. This is going to be for multicolor slash artifact slash lands. So let's get right into it. Nicol Bolas, Planeswalker. Yeah, if you have blue cards, black cards, and red cards that are very good, or heavy on the black, red, and splash blue, or heavy on the black, blue, and splash red, you should definitely try to play this guy. The fact is that he just destroys permanents that aren't creatures, and he goes up to 8 loyalty. He, at 9, basically screws people over. He's very good. So if you open him this weekend and can play him, and your deck can get there, you definitely would do that. Another bomb that's right next to him is a Chroma's Memorial. It costs 7, but basically when you cast it, you should win the game. Flying for a strike, vigilance, trample, haste, and protection from red and from black just usually makes all your fat ground guys able to swing through, and it makes you yourself almost impossible to have people attack through guys that have first strike and vigilance and flying and the whole 9 yards. Okay, Chronomaton is not getting as much hype as I would think. I kind of like him a lot. He's a 1/1 for 1. He plays well in every deck, and when you have mana, you just sink it into him and grow him. I mean, I don't find a problem with that. I mean, some people I've read don't really like him, but, I think he just doesn't block well at first, but eventually over time he just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and I kind of like that. Clock of Omens, I have no idea. I think at the pre-release you're really not gonna get to benefit from this card. I could be completely wrong. Obviously, it combos well with this, as this being the artifact you untap, but I'm not impressed. Door to Nothingness is a huge pain in the balls to cast slash ever get off. I mean, maybe you have crazy mana fixing. You have like 15 Farseeks in your deck, and this, and Gem of Becoming, and things of that nature, and you can play it and be the cool guy at the pre-release. It's fine by me. Don't get me wrong. You could pull it off, go nuts. But if I open this card, I'm gonna be very sad. I'll have like a hole in my heart as the size of this guy. Elixir Immortality is really great against mill strategies. It's also okay against aggro strategies. It also reshuffles stuff in, so if you have like a lot of removal spells that you want to get back that you've used, or cards that are really good that are dead, you can use this. I advocate it mostly against mill. Gem of Becoming, I think we'll see some play. Um, Getting an island, a swamp, and a mountain card into hand for 6 mana essentially is really good. You can play it the next turn, you crack it and get an island, a swamp, and a mountain, and then kind of fix your mountain, your mana. It's a little bit slow, but it does what it's supposed to do, especially if you have Nicol Bolas. Gilded Lotus will get you to 8 mana very fast. The thing I like about it is that you play it and then you're able to play something that costs 1, 2, or 3 mana still. So it's not like it comes in tapped or anything like that. It's no Black Lotus, but what could you do? I mean, they're not reprinting that card ever. So Gilded Lotus is fine, especially if you have a lot of fat or you have like a multicolor deck. The mana, it only gives you one color, but it gives you three of that color. So it fixes a lot of things that, may cost triple red or triple white, like abilities and things of that nature. But, you really only want to play it if you have a lot of fat or mana troubles. Jehadime Tome. Yeah, I said that one quick because I'm pretty sure I didn't pronounce it right. This is a card I've seen on and off through the years. I like that it's uncommon. I believe it used to be a rare. It costs 4 to activate, draws you a card. If they don't have artifact removal, this will eventually get out of hand, although extremely slow. And just look at the picture. This dude's trying to read this giant book. That's how you're going to feel playing it. But if you're playing against somebody who also has a slow deck, this is going to give you a really good advantage. Kite Sail 1-0 and flying, it's playable. I mean, cost 2 to equip. So if you want to strap up a fatty to it, make them fly in. There's nothing wrong with that. Also, it's good defensively against flying decks because the fact that it gives the 1-0 buff really allows you to most likely trade with most flyers that are coming at you. Pyrexian Hulk, you're going to need to play it sometimes. So a 5/4 for 6 sucks. It's an uncommon. It's kind of a crappy uncommon for that much mana. The good thing is it fits in any deck. So if you don't have a good late game, you throw this guy in your deck and you crush your fingers because you're probably losing. Primal Clay, I like. I think most of the time you'll probably play it as a 2/2 flyer for 4. If you're very aggressive, you'll play it for the 3/3. And if you're defensive, you'll play it for the wall. If you're losing, you're definitely playing it for the wall. Okay, now we're just going to do the rings. The blue ring, I'll just call them the colors, uh, gives you 1/1 if you have a blue creature and hexproof. I think that one's really strong, especially if you have things you want to protect. The green ring gives you trample. The white ring gives you vigilance. That's probably the worst one, I would think. No, the haste one's pretty bad too. Like the blue one I like a lot, the green one I like a lot, and the black ring that gives you regenerate I like a lot. The black ring and the blue ring are the only ones that have the activated cost, so keep that in mind. The other three, you just equip it and you get that ability. I think if anything is underrated, it's probably the one that gives haste, because once you play it and then you have an extra mana, all your guys get haste. So that one's probably the most underrated. Sands of Delirium, you're going to play this if you are a guy that likes mill. It does single-handedly win games if you have enough built around it. This is a build around me card. It allows you to win the games and steal games and get information by milling them. But if you're getting your face smashed in by an aggro deck, this isn't going to be enough time on your clock. Staff of Nin, you're going to play it. It draws you cards and it pings things. So it is very expensive, but the fact that you have a repeatable source of damage that picks off little things or hits people or players, excuse me, is always good. I would play it. It's very costly, and if they have removal or acidic slime, I might probably side it out. But if they have a lot of weenies, you might be dead before you get to play it, so keep that in mind. I think you still play it though. Stuffy Doll is great. Um, the fact that it's indestructible makes it so it's really hard for them to get through this guy. It's also really hard for you to lose him, being that he's indestructible. Um, the thing is, it's also great if you can deal damage to him yourself, or if they swing in and you just block. I mean, plus he taps to deal 1 damage to himself, so he's basically a pinger and an excellent blocker. Tormod's Crypt is very good. Most likely not in the pre-release, but in other strategies, mainly like Legacy and stuff like that. Trading Post is the last artifact. I kind of like Trading Post. Who doesn't want to put goats into play? I think you're probably gonna play the goat ability and the gain 4 life ability, other than the other two. If you have an artifact that you really want to get back, like the where are you? The Gem of Becoming and things of that nature. Maybe the Primal Clay dies. Then I could see you using the Trading Post for the Sacrifice a Creature. Um, you don't really get to sacrifice too many artifact creatures, so eh. But if you have like crappy dudes and you want to get back a decent artifact that they took care of, you can do that. And then you sacrifice an artifact, which is to draw a card. So that's always good. It could sacrifice itself to draw you a card if you're in a bind. It could sacrifice other crappy artifacts that you've kind of run your course. And then if you want to, you can get them back by sacking a creature. So there's going to be shenanigans afoot with this card, I would think. Okay, finally, let's get into our lands. Cathedral of War, I would definitely play this, especially if you're in an aggro deck. Yes, it comes in tapped. Yes, only makes colorless mana, but the fact that it gives Exalted just like that, it's well worth it. Dragonsteel Summit is good. Drowned Catacombs is good. You should know what these lands do by now. Black or red, black or blue. Glacial is black or white. Rootbound Crag, green or red. I think I said glacial is black or white. Excuse me. It's white or blue. That would be pretty sweet. And Sun Petal Grove is green and white or white. Then you have Reliquary Tower, which isn't really playable in this case, but hey, people will play it. Hellion Crucible, which I would play as well if I'm playing red. It just they see it coming, but sometimes they just can't get out of the way of a 4/4 haste creature. They might screw up and play around it, and it takes time because you got to sink mana into it and you have to actually tap it. So you got to keep that in mind. But I'd probably play it. And finally, Evolving Wilds, which is definitely good if you're playing a multicolor deck. It's also good in a monocolor deck, and it thins out your deck and gets you lands that you need. Make sure you try to only get basic lands with these. All right, so that concludes our review. Um, I appreciate your company. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Enjoy your pre-release weekend and your release weekend. Let me know how you did and all that good stuff. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.